is 𝗐𝗶𝘀𝗃𝗀𝗀𝗀. Join me as we learn and unlearn things and make new discoveries. This is AnDiscoveries. Today's episode is a discovery of the qualities, skills, and platforms of your next set of leaders. Let's start with the top 3 candidates applying to be the next mayor of the city of Cebu.
2 household names in Cebu City's political arena will be fighting for the mayoral seat of the city. Incumbent Mayor Michael Rama, who succeeded the late Mayor 𝗐𝗶𝘀𝗆𝗿𝗏, will be running for mayor for the 4th time against his longtime political rival's wife, former councilor Margarita Osmeña. But then everyone was in for a big surprise when another prominent surname in the city's political scene joined the mayoralty race. Incumbent councilor David Tumulak. Will his future be similar to that of his namesake in the Bible as he faces Cebu City's giants? Before we listen to their platforms, let's first review their background and credentials. 67-year-old Michael Rama, the grandson of former Senator Vicente Rama, took a pre-medicine course at 𝗏𝗏𝗀 College and proceeded to Manila to finish a law degree at 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗃 College. He passed the bar exams in 1983. His 30-year-old political career started in 1992 when he served as Cebu City Councilor for 3 terms until 2001. He was also a 3-time vice mayor from 2001 to 2010 and was elected as the national president of the Vice Mayors League of the Philippines. In 2010, he rose as mayor of Cebu City until 2016. He then lost to former Mayor Tomas Osmeña and came back in office as Labelia's vice mayor from 2019 to November 2021 until the latter passed away, making him the incumbent chief executive until present. Margarita Osmeña, now at 72, earned a degree in International Studies from Marinol College, now known as Miriam College. After graduation, she worked at the Intercontinental Hotel in Makati, then jumped from the hospitality to the banking industry, where she worked at the Bank of Asia, Philippine American Investment Corporation, and Century Bank in California. She first ran as city councilor in the 2010 elections when her husband Tommy was term limited as mayor and served for 3 consecutive terms until 2019. She also briefly served as acting mayor for a month and a half when Rama was suspended by Malacanang. Aside from sitting as chair of the City Council's Committee on Budget and Finance, she is also known for her advocacy in helping street children as she established the Children of Cebu Foundation, the base of the Parian Drop-In Center. 50-year-old David Tumulak has been serving the public both through the media and through the local government. He worked as the executive producer and musical director of 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏 in the 1980s. He then joined ABS-CBN broadcasting station in 1995 until 2010 as a TV and radio reporter, research and promo supervisor, and program anchor. In 2004, he served as consultant on social-political affairs of the office of then Vice President Noli De Castro. Meanwhile, his political career began when he was a barangay councilor of Basak Pardo in 1994. He then became barangay captain for 2 consecutive terms from 2007 to 2013 and was president of the Liga ng Mga Barangay Kagawad. He was elected as Cebu City Councilor from 2013 until present, where he chaired several committees and programs such as the Peace and Order Program, Cebu City Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council, and the Committee on Public Order and Safety. We first asked the 3 aspirants how they're feeling now that the elections is only 3 months away. Are they starting to feel the jitters?
You've been in the scene of politics in the city of Cebu for such a long time. Do you still feel kakulba, Mayor, when the election is fast approaching?
You know, anything that I do, which I look beyond, kulba will always be a part. But it should never be the one overwhelming. It's always the passion. The passion to work, trabaho, dili provisyo, di apilang negosyo ang pwesto, offer it to the people.
Does the ruling party always have the upper hand in every elections?
I do not want to claim it, but it goes without saying.
Are you starting to feel the jitters considering that this is your first time to run for the highest position in the city of Cebu?
I will not call it jitters because sama sa akong gisulti kanunay and I tell myself, I made a decision. Right? And sa politika, you just expect what's coming. And there are no regrets. There is just the resolve to carry on. And of course, nadigsad ko kasulti na I'm not, there is not some on my part. But jitters, I do this, I carry on sa kaning journey that I decided to take, not with full confidence in myself, but with trust that I am doing the right thing. And whatever the outcome is the outcome. It is an alternative that we are offering sa atong mga katawhan. Naagyud na ninyo, naagyud na sa mga tao na mudawat, no? Kung dili, then I accept. Kung mudawat, I accept the challenge. So, jitters, siguro, sa akong kinabuhi ba, I have gone through many things and it has prepared me. Nakaandam na ba ako sa akong sitwasyon karon?
Doon na ba kay kakulba nga nabati sa pagkakaroon?
Honestly speaking, wa gyud ko'y kulba. And I was never ever threatened sa akong mga opponents because sa ako nang gingon ka ganina, ang mga tao pinagtabag na to and nalipay ko sa akong gibuhat karon. At least paghatag og better alternative sa mga Cebuanos. Because for me, this is the last hope for the Cebuanos. Kay nakaagi naman ta aning akong mga kaatbang, mga apelyido nila, nakaagi ug nakahibaw na tagiun sa nila pagduma. And pareha mi og sistema to serve the public. But si David Tumulak wa pa nila masaway. So, dili nila angay sayangan ang panahon. Suwayan ninyo si David Tumulak and then you will see the better Cebu.
How are the numbers working for you based on your surveys, Mayor?
No one would be into running if they're thinking of losing. So definitely I'm winning. We have to think about winning and all the way winning. Even if at the end, never stop thinking winning.
Tingali bisag kinsay politiko, no, na mudagan sa unsay posisyon na ilang whatever they're running for, they will say they're confident. So ang ako lang ba, I mean, what I see is acceptance. Now sa katapusan, you don't leave it there and walk away. Hindi ba? Sa katapusan is the end game. And kung mana akong gibati sad nasa uban. So I don't think that's a good gauge also of how things can change.
Yeah.
Things can
So many
change
things
very
can happen.
quickly. Very quickly.
In terms of numbers, are we seeing more positive?
It's very promising. And I will honor this sa ato ang mga supporters who help us a lot in terms of campaigning. Kay ang pikas partido sa ilahang survey, sila yung number 1, kita yung number 2. Sa lain sa partido, sila sa number 1, kita pa yung number 2. At least wala ta masiruhi, at least na-deliver na to ang atong message nga to sa atong mga katawhan nga para ni kanila, preparasyon para sa atong mga katawhan kini nga pagdagan nga makakita sila og linahi nga pagpadagan sa gobyerno.
We then shifted the discussion to the national candidates they support. Rama has previously endorsed the candidacy of Senator Bongo, but changed it to former Senator Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. after Go backed out from the race. Meanwhile, the BOPK has announced that they are rooting for Vice President Leni Robredo and Senator Tito Soto. As of this interview, Tumulak said he is yet to disclose his choice of president in the coming days.
Si BBM daghan siyang supporters pero daghan sad siyang mga controversies nga gipang atubang like the tax evasion case of course, the controversies associated with his family. Why are you rooting for BBM?
If you're talking about controversies, in the political scene, there's an expression, what else is new? There will always be controversies. Now, if we think about yesterday, and yesterday, and yesterday, and bring it at present, and then the son will suffer, then nobody, no children, no longer with the heart, the mind, and the passion to serve will get up and be into running. And that's not going to be what I believe na ang anak sa usa ka amahan na naay istorya sa kagahapon dadoon ug maapil sa anak, it's not going to be fair sa usa ka anak.
But if the president endorses another candidate, mayor, in the coming days, like for example, Isko Moreno, would you change your position?
I do not have to look for tomorrow because today is where we are, and I cannot see any reason when I personally, especially this whole process, is not a quick decision. I do not want to go back in the past because it will bring me to many what we call combination. And the past will bring us also Sara Duterte visiting me. That was the past. Number two, of course, Bongo, a discussion regarding presidential race. That was the past. And the past also bring me to already at a certain comfort level because it would have been Bongbong and of course, I do not have to highlight until it ended up finally on Sara Duterte and her being here, and we know each other. In the same manner, I have known Bongo from Adam, and of course, BBM, it's because we are on the same boat. Puros mami mga napikos. So we established commonality when we both filed the protest. And from that time on, we've been in contact with BBM.
Okay. They say that as a voter, your presidential candidate speaks a lot about your values as a person. But in the case of local politicians, there are so many factors as well that play a role as to who the national candidates they endorse. Because of course, they would also consider the voice of the members of the party. But if it were just you, would you still go for Leni Robredo?
Definitely.
Why her?
Because she is a good person. Because dugay na may na ang among pagkakaila ni Vice President Leni. And from the very start, klaro baya para namo, di ba, that she is a good person, a decent person, an honest person, and willing to listen and willing to serve. I mean, this has it's there. It's there. It's not because of political reasons.
Yeah.
It's something that we truly believe in, and we believe in Leni Robredo.
But some people say, ma'am, that being good is not enough. Aside
Yes.
from the Leni Lugaw comments, some of the issues raised is that they see Leni as a weak leader. And for some people, what the country needs right now is a strong figure. How does these comments make you feel, considering that you're also a woman vying for the highest position of the city that you're running in?
Weak doesn't mean loud. Weak doesn't mean strong words. Strong doesn't mean strong words. No, weak doesn't mean that you're quiet, and or strong doesn't mean that you're loud. It doesn't mean that you have to jolt people, but you can work in your in your own ways. Vice President Leni has been doing what she can do with the resources that she has. She makes the best out of the resources that she has. From the very start, panalitan sa pandemic, she has been there. You know? What is weak? Because she doesn't answer back? Maana ba? Maaba na ang ano? But you know, everybody entitled ba yan na sa ilang opinion. And sometimes when you're talking to people, no matter what you say will not change their mind. Right? But in as much as maghatag tag respeto nila, maghatag sila respeto namo. That's it.
May we know, ma'am, why you are going for Lenny and Soto instead of Lenny Kiko tandem?
Good question. May I just share with you that many years ago, I am the president of 𝗵𝗀𝗀𝗰𝗃𝗀𝗏, Cebu. And our focus is on children with cancer. And so right now we have, I think, 40 plus children under our care with chemo. And we have 150 maybe plus survivors, meaning that they have gone through the process. At one time, maybe 11, 12 years ago, hapit ako mag-give up. It costs money, hindi ba? For each child.
Yeah.
The chemo alone, no, that's about 2 to 3 years per child. I'm just giving you an average, no? Ang gasto ni Ana, for some reason, the males are more expensive than the female because of the hormones.
Ah, okay.
But let's just put it at around $500,000 each.
Per child.
Per child. That's only chemo. Swerte yun ta, magpasalamat yun ta ng atong mga doktor maghatag sa ilang serbisyo libre. Okay? But we reached the point where we had hardly anything. Anything. So I said, Tommy, we have no more money. At that time, congressman siya. I think I had mentioned to him that Tito Soto, Senator Soto, had given assistance to another NGO who also works with children with cancer. So the opportunity came, kaya nagkita man sila. He told Senator Soto, maybe you can help my wife with 𝗵𝗀𝗀𝗰𝗃𝗀𝗏 right away. No publicity, no need of press releases, no need of public acknowledgement. He gave, he helped. Para nako, he saved many lives. I will never forget that. And aside from that, he has proven himself as a public official, you know. So that's where we are.
That's why you're supporting him.
Yes.
We then dwelled into the specific criticisms raised against each aspirant.
Some critics are saying within the Barug coalition, lahi-lahi mo gipang endorse nga national candidate specifically for the presidential position. Ang panaghiusa ni Attorney Dalos, si Isko sila. So they're saying nga murag if naglisod o unify some members of the coalition yourselves, how would you be able to assure the people of Cebu City nga ma-unify gyapon ta?
Let's clarify, and naglisod o unify. It's not correct. Because we all have run, and we've discussed the whole matter. We have a complete slate from mayorship, vice mayorship, congressmen north and south, and a complete slate in the north and south councilorial. So that is really not a big problem. We have been always unifying ourselves from the point of the complete slate when we filed the certificate of candidacy. And when we had the panag-abot in Casino Espanyol, we were unified. So the only probably concern was some personalities,
Yes.
of which we also have agreed, and I have bring it very carefully, that when February 6 and 8 will commence, the color has to be clear,
Which is
yellow, green, and a little red. And there'll be no more emphasis aron dili kay daghan kayong panagiusa kusog, but the coalition orientation, not on the presidency perhaps, but from the foundation in terms of how, because kini siya nga grupo god emanated from TR, that is Team Rama.
Ma'am Margaret, some of the comments na people say, apologies for asking this, but some
Of
people
course,
would
go
say
ahead.
na si Margot ang gipadagan, but basig si Tomas ra gihapon ang magbuot. What would you like to, how would you like to respond
Number
to these,
one.
to these comments?
Nobody told me to run. Most of all, my husband. You know, when I made that decision, I said it. I was the one who said it. Ako mismo nagsulti. What if it's me? He told me mismo nagsulti. Huh? Are you sure? I said no. But it came. Mangutana mo nga naman. I said, sa akong I don't know. Maybe it's time. Okay, ikaduha. And for those who know Tommy and me,
Yeah.
we are partners. Ako swerte gyud ko ng akong bana ba kanunay has always given me respect and has given me the we are partners, right, in everything that we do. Sometimes one is more visible than the other one, but it adjusts, right? Ikaduha, na siya
He will still have the last say.
No, definitely not. You know, maybe I should phrase it this way. Will I maminaw ba ko sa akong bana?
Yeah.
Siyempre. Nga naman dili. Number one, I am proud to be Tommy's wife. Number two, he is my husband. Number three, he was mayor. And tingali makasabot ang mga tao na sa akong kaugalingon, sa pagtuo ba, he was one of the best mayors Cebu City had, if not the best. And you will understand why. He has gone through so much. So why not learn? Right? Pero sa katapusan, I make the decision. We may have the same goals. We will always have the same goals. Unsa man na ang kaayuhan para sa atong syudad. Pero ang paagi, ang kadalanan ba, padung diha,
Yeah.
sometimes it's a different way. But we all going towards the same direction. I will do it my way.
Cons, pardon me for asking, but what's your reaction to the comment nga, negative comment sa imong ha, Cons, nga, si David Tumulak, katong councilor, in your term as councilor for 3 consecutive terms, kanang balimbing daw ka, Cons.
Wow.
Nga mo, ambak-ambak ba sa kinsay ruling party or kinsay pabor during that specific administration? Asa mong gyud ang imuhang loyalty, Cons?
Okay. Ako tanang ipatubag unta sa mga previous mayors kay they themselves and ang kuno na nila nga si Dave Tumulak ilang gisugo, ilang gipatrabaho kay nakahibaw ning mga mayor nga motrabaho ta. Wa ko'y political party ever since.
So neither
Independente
BOPK,
jud
neither
ko.
Team Rama.
Yes, kay sa unang administrasyon ni Mayor Rama, kay bao siya, gisugo gid ko niya unsay mga trabaho unon, and then ako say mo trabaho sa mga problema sa iyang administrasyon. Sa panahon usab ni Mayor Tommy Osmeña, mutabang sad ta sa iyang administrasyon. Siya sad suguon pud ta kay asa gid sila makakita og konsehal nga ilang masugo. Ako ray konsehal nga ilahang masugo bisag unsa basta kaayuhan ang sa syudad. Sa administrasyon usab ni Mayor Edgar Labella, mao gihapon kita gihapoy patrabahoon, no? Ug unsay mga problema diri sa atong dakbayan. Ug kita say mo suggest unsay angay natong pagabuhaton. So laktod nga pagkasulti, wa tay partido. Nakahibaw sad ni sila nga wa gyud koy partido. Ang akong partido katawhan. Kay sila mo'y nagpili nako, mahimo kong official sa atong dakbayan. Natural ako ng responsibilidad, ang paglihok ug ang pagtabang. Sayod ang publiko niya na nga anytime ila kong makitaan ug dunay mga problema sa atong dakbayan na si Dave Tumulak nga ilang kadangpan.
Our next topic was about their plans in dealing with the pandemic if given the chance to serve as mayor.
Kamusta ang imong assessment atong EO nato nga no vaccination card, no entry? Has it been effective in convincing?
It should be, but it was a general directive.
Yes.
Today, it's going to be extended up to the 15th.
Yes.
And then I placed in para dili magka kay amo sang gibuhat from the convergence was to invite the establishment especially mga malls administrators. And we incorporated already about who, despite, can still enter. And there is such a thing as al fresco or whatnot, but it's still going to be management prerogative as well. Because kapoy na kaayong business.
Yes, yes.
Abli, sira. Di na sila gusto lockdown.
Yes.
Ito na. Ang ilang gusto karon is balancing economy and health.
So which leads me to that question, Mayor. How do you strike the balance between opening up the economy and ensuring everyone's health security?
The convergence help a lot. Because in the convergence, nadiya ang business, nadiya ang Chinese Federation, nadiya ang traders, nadiya ang ITSRAC, hotel, resort, niya ka ng hotel, ITSRAC,
Yes, yes.
restaurant,
Oo.
naadiha, nadiya ang simbahan, nadiya ang medical, nadiya ang police, nadiya other NGOs a part of the daily, either physical or kaningingan lang na to Zoom.
Meeting. So it
With-
has to be the consensus of
The Zoom. So if you look at it, this whole convergence, I'm telling you, would always guide. Then I asked them, okay, what do you want? 60-40? 50-50? And there was even a time, because the whole family of one of the member or officer of the training, the whole family
Got
was
COVID.
hospitalized. So he was really fighting for 80-20 or 90-10. Until
capacity na
there is
there.
such a thing as 50-50, then 60-40, and now it's increasingly in favor of the economy.
Lastly, Mayor, how would you convince anti-vaxxers to get inoculated so that ma-achieve na ginato ang herd immunity? Gawas aning no vaccine card, no entry sa mga establishments. Is there any other strategy? Do you believe in sanctioning individuals or compensating them?
Having to be vaccinated, I've always expected that it's a choice. There's no question about it. But in a government where it has become the program of the government, even going into sanctioning it, which it will be a matter of time for the Supreme Court to make a stand. Because if pandemic will be a thing that we have to reckon with in the days and still in the months and years to come. And the answer is, as I have been espousing, vaccination is the way to liberation.
So you
Now,
think, Mayor, na dili ang executive, dapat judiciary?
it has to be, yes, I've been telling the judiciary, make a stand.
So if you would be elected as Mayor of Cebu City, ma'am, what would be the changes in the strategies to be implemented in terms of addressing the COVID-19 situation here in the city of Cebu?
First of all, give more credit to the barangays. They know what's going on there. And be very specific. Who in the barangays? Right? So there is accountability. There is accountability for all. And make the reports count also. Transparency also. Right? And then, and the advocacy, na man mga tao hangtod karon, nahadlok mo ba ya? Hindi ba sa mga vaccination?
Yes.
Or makadungog na, you know, labi na sa radyo for those who are, you know, everybody has the right. But it is our responsibility and our obligation to work together with the medical community, with the business community, and with the local officials, no? To be out there and at least give our people direction. See? Answer their questions, you know? And see why. There.
kaning ongoing no vaccination card, no entry in all enclosed
Okay.
establishments, ma'am.
Thank
What's your
you for
take on
asking.
this?
We respect, as I said, you respect everybody. But if you believe in no anti-vax ka,
Yeah.
you respect me also. But, again, panalitan. So, ikaw anti-vax ka. So, you said it is your right. Yes, in your it is your right. But you will also have to observe and respect other people's rights. So, muadto ka sa akong balay. Okay? Pero sa akong balay, I will say, sorry Andrea, dili ka kasud kay wala ka pa ma-vaccinate. Respect my right. Respect my house rules. Keep your rights within when it affects you only. Di ba? Like, to put it maybe in a more, way ba? Kung sa usa ka lugar magsulti, no shorts allowed, no kamiseta allowed. Do not invoke your constitutional rights, no? That you can wear your kamiseta and short. That's my house rules.
So you're in favor, ma'am, of this
I'm
policy?
not in favor, I'm not against it, basta you respect. You know? Because I believe in being vaccinated. Because this is my personal na baya ni. Dili lang ni para sa akong kaugalingon, pero sa mga tao. And I do want to go out when I can. You know? So, that's my personal opinion. But I will respect yours if you're anti-vax. But you respect also where you are going. You
Okay.
cannot force your way into a place where they do not believe what you believe.
But if elected as mayor, Ma'am Margot, would you continue implementing this executive order na imposing enclosed business owners to require vaccination cards just to encourage everyone to get inoculated?
Andrea, as of this point, I'm really confused na about the EOs. I don't know. One day it's like this, the next day, pwede na. The next day, so I really don't know. So, para nako, I stay home as much as possible. I comply with whatever quarantine protocols there are. No? So you're asking me if I become mayor. Let's see how it is at that time. That's 3 months, if given the chance.
What do you think is the best way to convince people to get vaccinated? Is it through posing sanctions, or is it more on the compensation
No, you don't
part?
punish people for what they don't want to do. You try, that doesn't work. You know, they become even more into themselves, right? But I think you have to encourage, like, for example, maybe through their families, that don't think about yourself. Think about your mama, your papa, your children. I don't have the answer really, but that's how I'm looking at it right now.
How about in terms of COVID response, Cons? If given the chance to serve as mayor, unsaon man unsay mga strategies nga imong nahuna-hunaan aron mo strike og balance between helping the economy but at the same time ensuring public security in terms of health?
Yes, importante kana kay during the COVID until now, kita gyud na sa front line. And naka face to face gyud nato ang mga tawo nga affected dili mga virus. So, makita nimo sa ato ang platform of government nga nag-priority ta sa health. No? Kinahanglan nga nahatagan natong assurance ang ato mga katawhan kay by the time nga imo silang hatagan og assurance about health, sila na mismo musunod na siya sa mga health protocols plus the economy. Nga kinahanglan gyud nga naa gihapon ang ekonomiya, kinahanglan flexible taxes para sa ato mga businessmen. Kay importante kay karon manggod ang mga nagsira ka mga negosyo, bayad kag buhis. Bisag wa ka, nagsira ka, istagad pa ni magbayad. That's wrong. Kinahanglan there should be a government-friendly business management nga gikinahanglan. So, ang atong mga katawhan mo atong giprioridad about the response of COVID. We all know tanang mga tao nakahibaw what is COVID and how to protect them. But ang problema, wa sila'y ikapalit sa tambal. Ang ilang importante kayo nga masudlan ilahang tiyan, dili sila magutman. Muna usahay makalimtan. Muna nga tua is to uplift the living condition sa ato ang mga katawhan diri sa siyudad Cebu. Pinagi sa paghatag nilang alternatibong panginabuhian ngadto sa ato mga katawhan, kinahanglan nga mo trabaho gyud, edukasyon ihatag sad libre ngadto sa ato mga katawhan. education. Makatabang maghihapon ni about the COVID response. Gumikan kay makafocus and then di na mawagtangan ng problema ang atong mga katawhan pagpa-eskwela nga to sila mga anak. Si David Tumulak ug inyong mapili nga pagka-mayor, ipadayon nato ang Cebu City College. Upat lang ka mga kurso ang gikinahanglan.
Unsa man ni Cons?
1, kanang yung medical. Kinahanglan nga naay doktor nga pobre gikan. Kinahanglan nga naay nurse nga pobre gikan. Kinahanglan nga naay mahimong abogado, pobre gikan. Kinahanglan nga dunay engineer, pobre gikan. Gusto ko makadungog nga dunay yano og simple nga apelyido nga mahimong doktor. Why? Dili na yung pag-discriminate nga tusad sa uban nato mga professionals nowadays. But lahi gyud, no? Nga magagikan gyud gikan sa yano kaayo nga pamilya nga mahimong doktor. Kaya ang pagbati niya na mas mugrabe pa unya ang pagserbisyo nila nga sa mga pobre kay gikan sila sa pagkapobre. No?
Kaning no vaccine, no entry sa mga enclosed establishments sa Cebu City. Are you in favor of this executive order?
I disagree.
Nga naman, Cons?
Why? Because ang mga tao nakahibaw na sila unsa ka risgo sa COVID and kining mga wa magpabakuna, mas labaw pa ni silang nanagana sa ilang kaugalingon og mugawas. Mugawas lang ni sila importante jud kayo. And besides, grabe ni ang ilang protection. Magmask, tanan. Wa magoy ka siguraduhan nato og bisan pag nabakunahan ka pero igo man kay pagka COVID. Dili man mo'y garantiya. Ang naka-importante lang kay di ka magrabihan. Kining uban nga wa magpabakuna. Ilan ang gusto. Og panalitan og nasakit sila og nagrabihan sila, ilan ang choice. Because ang government daan ang nagpahinumdom. This would be mahitabo nila. So, mo na ilang gusto. Unfair. Because there is no law na pag-force sa usa ka individual to be vaccinated. Walay balaod niya na.
Pero for you, Cons, unsa may pamaagi aron ma-achieve nato atong gitarget na herd immunity? What is the most effective strategy aron ikumbinser katong mga hesitant gid gihapon nga magpabakuna kung dili kauyon aning no vaccine card, no entry policy?
Information education campaign, massive. Dungagan pa gyud. Kay whether we like it or not, daghan pa gyud kaayo sa atong mga katawhan. That would be the first move nga buhaton unta sa ato ang gobyerno. Dili kay maghimo og palisiya kasama ka nga nag-martial law. We have to admit also in this government side nga kakuwangan sa impormasyon, edukasyon, pagpasabot ngadto sa mga tao kining wa magpabakuna. Kay kana bang kung kakuwangan sa information, mao gyud na hesitant na sila to pursue unsay goal sa usa ka government. Kinahanglan pa palapdan pa ang kasayuran ngadto sa ato mga katawhan unsa ni ang bakuna.
We then asked the much-awaited question, what are your platforms for the city of Cebu?
Barug, Cebu City. Letter B, better business environment. Letter A, adequate water supply. R, resettlement and housing. U, urban and upland development. G, good governance, public safety, and disaster resiliency. Then letter C, comprehensive educational support. E, environmental management and sustainability. B, barangay welfare and community development. U, universal health care and program for the elderly and PWD. Culture, letter C, history, art, tourism, then international relation and spirituality enhancement. Then letter I, infrastructure, which I said, and technological advancement. And
Why?
traffic
Tipa.
management and mass transit system. And letter Y, youth, children, and sports development.
So ubay-ubay man ni siya, Mayor. If given the chance to serve for another term, asa man ani ang imuhang unahon on your first 100 days?
Usually I do right away what I call brainstorming. Right now, before we talk about March, we even also have to think about, just like what we did yesterday, the 21 Grand Salute Impact Projects, which I have delivered last December 6 here at City Hall. And also discussed last night the 10-point agenda of the mayor, which we would like also to continue, and after doing some checking, counter-checking, as far as the 10-point agenda, I was told by my staff and my men who did brainstorming that it's already incorporated in Barong, Cebu City. Then last night, we did review, and including herd immunity, which we're almost there, talking about other 21 passage, which even included garbage and other very important passage of public services.
Ma'am, if you would be elected, may we know what would be the first thing that you would do once makalingkod na ka?
Clean the
first
house.
Lady Mayor.
Clean the house.
Clean the house in terms of what, man?
Everything. See what we have. You always look at what you have. What resources do you have? You know, what's happening? You know what's happening here? Do we need this many things? Where is the money being used? You know, we have to provide services more than things, more than projects, more than more cars, more than more sakyanan. We have to provide the services that people expect from us. And how do you do that? Right? You do that with the people that are there in your house. So who in your house can help you do that? Right? So, clean house. Do we need 10,000 employees? Do we need 10,000 employees? Has the hiring of thousands of more employees given better services? Or have we just provided jobs? The role of the city is not to provide more jobs, but to give people the opportunity for their own lives, right? To give them hope, not to give them salaries, but to make them trust the government, to trust the local government.
May we know what kind of services ang imuhang tutukan pag-ayos?
For example, let me just be very specific in one.
Yeah.
A few nights ago, naagyud me, I had dinner with a group of young men who I've never met before. And I was very happy na naagyud ko higayon ba na makaano nila. One of them said, and Tommy was with me, said, you know, Mayor, let me just tell you, I'm a lawyer now. Young. He's only in his maybe 30? He said, some years ago, nasunugan baya mi. Taga sa iyang barangay, nasunugan. Tanan, hurot. He was a law student at the time, about to graduate. Then he said, hurot ang akong mga libro, everything burned. But tungod sa tabang sa iyang mga kaila, no, he was able to get more notes. But where did he study? He studied in the library, the 24/7. And siya mismo nagsulti, Mayor, kung wala ang library, I will not be a lawyer now. That's a service that does not need a lot of money. Right? It was stopped immediately. Why? Not because of COVID, because it was stopped way before then.
So you're looking at...
I'm looking at things like that. The things that don't necessarily mean that you have to spend a lot. Right? But it is there. So let us assess, what do we have? How can we use this more efficiently? How can we deliver the services more transparently and more quickly and cheaply, put it in that way.
Okay.
See? Same. Another one was what we call the long life. I don't know if you've heard about that, Andrea, pero na-good programa na sa tibuok kalibutan, Cebu City ra ang dunay ingon ana kanang mag-deliver og maintenance medicines.
Okay.
No, to those who need it. No age limit. No asking ikaw BOPK ka, ikaw dili. Not even na you have to show that naagyud ka voter ka. No? But up to a certain point 40,000, 40,000 makadawat sa ilang tambal kada adlaw.
Funded by?
The city.
Okay.
The city. And who delivered that? Out of school youth who were paid a minimum compensation to do that. So providing them, di ba, with something constructive to do, and at the same time providing a service to our people. That was stopped.
So you plan to have this resumed?
Hopefully, yes. Because it's a big help. And at the time of the pandemic, when it started, it would have been a good contact tracing already in place.
Mostly sa ato ang platform of government is focused more on the people. Kay ilaha man gyud ning mga plataporma nga gihatag diri kanato, di tan-aw nato is very doable. One of which is pagpabalik sa presyo, sa naandan nga presyo diri sa atong dakbayan sa mga palaliton. Ikaduha, paghatag og libre nga hospital. Libre nga pagpatambal sa ato ang mga subuanon. Ikatulo, paghatag og kahigayonan sa atong mga trabahante nga doon na tayo gitawag og flexi time sa pagtrabaho. Na pwede sila musud alas 6 ngadto sa alas 2, alas 7 ngadto sa alas 3, alas 8 ngadto sa alas 4 para paghatag pa og oras ngadto sa ilahang pamilya.
Sa City Hall, you mean?
No,
Or?
public and private.
Okay.
Depende na sa company. No? Nga ang atong mga trabahante di na magpunsisok ni sa Prinsdan, di na sila maka-experience og traffic. Gumikan kay doon na tayo bagong sistema niya nga ipatuman. Nga ang makabenepisyo nini ang tumong na gid ini paghatag og tabang ngadto sa usa ka pamilya. Nga makamino siya og gasto diri sa gawas, makapauli siya, makaatiman siya, makatabang pagid siya sud sa ilahang panimalay. Usa na sa atong mga programa nga ato niya. Labi na kanag yung free diagnostic test. Free hospitalization.
Which you think na
na
wala pa na-provide sa current natong public hospitals kon?
Yes. Kinahanglan nga ato ginagipatuman. Ang mga Subuanon, taga Cebu City, deserve to have that kind of service. Especially now karon nga naata sa post-pandemic. Kinahanglan focus ang ato ang programa ngadto sa atong mga katawhan. Dili taan ang mga proyekto nga bag-o pa gani nindot ba gani kaayong daan, gubuon kay ilisan sa bag-o. Nganong di ba na ihatag ngadto sa mga katawhan ang maong pundo nga makabenepisyo. Paghatag sa alternatibong panginabuhian ngadto sa mga ginang sa panimalay isip abag ngadto sa ilang mga bana. Ngadto sab sa mga bana nga may trabaho kinahanglan gyud nga mo trabaho. Kinahanglan ang pagpatuman sab sa balaod. Mao ginay mga priority nato ang mga programa nga ato unya nga ikatanyag ngadto sa ato mga kaigsuonan.
Then we touched on the city's controversial projects, which have been subjects of debates between the city's major political parties. These projects include the BRT, the development of the SRP, and the modernization of Carbon Public Market.
Mayor, ano na sa mga projects for the city of Cebu? We have the carbon modernization and the latest JVA katong sa ECC for Inayawan and the Pond
Expedition.
A. Yes. Mayor, just in case, if you would not make it this elections, Mayor, how would you ensure nga dili ni mahunong ang kaning mga proyekto just like what happened to CCMC nga murag nalangan because of the turnover sa next administration?
You know, Dria, I run not to say if. I run because I see victory there. And that positivism in me, I want it to be radiated to all those in my Partido Barug. Our Partido Barug, PDP Laban, Marino Party List, to continue to contaminate and infect all of them so that positivism has to be in our head. So we don't talk about if. You know pretty well, that question was being asked when Mayor Labilla ran, and I was the vice mayor.
Yes.
And there was such a thing as MCDCB, Metro Cebu, Development Council, but BMAN board, no? Okay, MCDCB, coordinating board. I was asked a question. What if? What if? And that was about what role will our administration, when we now come in and take the baton in running the city? My answer was simply, as president of Partido Barug, coming from Team Rama, curative. We don't think about destructive. We don't even entertain recession. Otherwise, no more investors will come to the city if by one administration being substituted by another administration. And what happened? Wow, never-ending court cases. We are not troublemakers. And I don't even want to be considered Mr. Complainant. I don't want to be called Mr. Complainant.
Mayor, for the longest time that you've been in Cebu City politics, have you already mastered the strategy in dealing with a council nga majority dili imo?
To be honest, nothing is new to me. When I was a councilor, we were the majority. And there was a point in time that I was the leader of the minority. Then came a time that I became a mayor with a minority councilor. Okay? At a certain time, we started to be together. And the honeymoon was short. And then I declared independence. So I was a mayor with a minority councilman.
Yes.
Now, Edgar also being the vice mayor, and he had a mayor na ngayon lang ako at that time, kaya ako na-alkansi man, filed protest against him because of PICOS. He was there in a council, belligerent, being the vice mayor. And then I became the vice mayor of Mayor Edgar Colina Labella. This time, we have the majority. And with the majority, we have the minority. And being in the council, that brought that council number 1 in 2 years succession in the whole country. Highly urbanized legislative awardee. We can never be an awardee if we are too much of being onion skin. So we have to bring the parliamentary rules on procedures alive. Make the majority minority speak, and the majority, when they would like to decide, then it becomes majority rules. And if there is no need to be dividing, then there is such a thing as unanimous decision. That's part of democracy under the Robert Rules of Procedure.
Let's talk about quickly lang, ma'am, the 2 major projects nga controversial involving the city of Cebu. First, let's talk about the BRT. How do you plan to pursue this if given a chance to be?
It's supposed to be pursued. In fact, it was already announced that it's being pursued. So let's see, why is there a delay? At one point in time, kahibaw naman ta that they really stopped it because naagyod sila alternative, kanang mga sky, I do not know what, monorail. Where are they? It was even promised by next year, magsugod na. Wala naman. Pero ang BRT, everything was funded. It was something that had been worked on na pila na katuig.
So will this get priority, ma'am, under your term, if given the chance?
Yes, why not? Why not? Why not?
How about kaning sa carbon market na modernization? Ma'am, gi-dismiss sa court ang TRO?
Okay. Let me make one clear about the carbon project. A lot, daghan ba nag-emphasize nga naman magkontrata sa modernization? No. Modernization is good. In fact, it is welcome. It is the privatization
that you're against.
Of course. Why make a private company earn money from a public market?
But would the city have the enough funds, ma'am, to...
5 billion? We have plenty of money for other things, no? So why not that?
There's another JVA, ma'am, that was recently signed
Yeah,
last
the one of
January
the-
27. Sa SRP na sad ni, which
sa
involves
Pond A.
the rehabilitation of Inayawan and katong pag-fill in sa Pond A. 50-50 kuno ni ma'am sa ECC and the city government. And controversial po ni siya because the ECC was, it filed a case against the city. I believe this was under the term of former Mayor Tomas.
About
Backer.
Inayawan. You're talking about
Yes,
Inayawan, using it as a dump site or a
Yes.
landfill at
Yes.
that time. Yes, it did. And now they're going to do it.
Yes,
Is that
ang
your
pag-rehab.
question?
Yes.
Well, in the first place, I don't even know who they are. Who is this JVA ba na?
JVA, yes.
So that's a joint venture agreement.
Yes.
Were there any public hearings held on that? Naaba? Kinsa man na sila? Hindi ba? Kinsa kaning partner sa syudad? And what's the rush? What's the rush? So what is their background? Naan ba sila projects that could give them the qualifications na mag-JVAs to something this big? Right? Yeah. Too many questions.
Pangayo ko sa imong stand kon sa aning mga controversial nga mga projects. Number 1, carbon market na modernization. Where do you stand on this issue?
I'm not against the development. Okay, dili sad ko gusto nga ang atong merkado mao ra gihapon. We have tried to think nga daghan kaayo nga mga local government units karon, grabe kayong ilang improvement. Kinahanglan naagi balance. No, kay dili lang kay ngata sa kanang karaan ang Cebu City. No. Kinahanglan naatay mga bag-o nga mga buildings. Naamang gihapon ang merkado. Og pananglitan sa pagmahal, usa gud na sa ako ang programa. Number 1 na to sa programa na to, kung kita'y mapili pagka-mayor, ang pagpaus-us sa presyo. Pinaagi sab sa pagtabang sa uban nga mga regions. How come nga kining ubang mga isda nga to sa laing probinsya, di man na sila kuhaon, dad-on na to sila dinhi. Kini mga produkto, mga agricultural products sa ubang mga lugar nga naghinubra, ngano di man nato dadun dinhi. Ngano mo focus naman ta dinhi sa ato ang supply. Ug kuha nga atong supply magmahal gina.
Pero kaning current nga JVA cons. Unsa man imuhang baruganan ani angay pagyud nga tukion og maayo, gidismiss man sa court ang TRO against this JVA, or should we proceed na gyud sa project para kanang tuloy-tuloy na gyud ang pagpa-modernize sa atong carbon market?
I'm in with the joint venture agreement. Kaya way gasto ang syudad. Can you imagine? Joint venture na siya. Investment na sa usa ka private sector. Og panalitan gani, mubabag na takarundaan, wa pa gani na mahuman ang maong building, mubabag na tangdaan. We will talk that later on, right after nga mahuman ang project. Og bahin sa price ra man gyud. O niya ang kanang pagdili sa ato ang mga kamerkaduha, ang mga tenderong tendera, ato ginang lingkuran. Pag-identify, ug tinuod ba gini sila mga vendors, ug vendors sila, padayon, way mawa dias carbon nga mga tindirong tindira. Pagbarato gid mo atong priority.
How about this recent katong lain na sa nga JVA sa SRP? Katong rehabilitation of the Inayawan landfill, and at the same time katong pag-fill sa Pond A?
Yes.
Are you in favor of this kung you given the chance to serve as
Yes,
mayor?
I'm in favor with it. Kay it's a joint venture agreement gyapon. Why gasto ang syudad? No? Labi na karon depleted na kay nga to ang mga funds. Here comes the private nga mutabang pag-fill up, and then there will be an agreement of a certain percentage. Why not? No? And besides, kana sa nga to as ang sanitary landfill din ha before. We call it sanitary landfill. It's not sanitary landfill, it's a landfill. Kunya lain kita naon ba nga naata sa modern narata sa syudad Cebu, pag-improve pa kayo, makita na to bitaw din nga naagihapon ang landfill. So I would rather kanang improve it, no? Nga mapahimuslan pa sa public. It's not just like an history nga landfill na siya ato nang usbon. Oo.
I'm asking these questions kasi kani magong mga proyekto ha, mura man gud siya ma-associate sa certain administration na administration nga against this. For example, CCMC nalangan pag turnover ni former
Correct.
Thomas Osmeña.
Correct.
Ya karon katong BRT sad nga pabor sad kaayo si former Mayor Thomas Osmeña nalangan pod pagpasa sa next administration. And then karon murag wa na sa ikasiguraduan kung kinsa ang molingkod ba mapadayon ba gini mga proyekto nga nasugdan. That's why I'm asking your opinion on these issues. Aron mahibaw-an nato kung asa ka pabor.
Okay. In regards sa mga projects, na-notice na gyud sa ato ang mga katawhan nga lain-lain kini sila lain-lain og mga administrasyon magkontra-kontra babagan ng proyekto. But sway si David Tumulak. Basta improvement, development sa syudad, na ako din ha. And wa na'y kasamok kabahitabo. Tuloy-tuloy ang programa. Sigurado gyud nga way mahitabo nga korupsyon.
I'd also like to know what will happen to the BRT project if you would be elected as mayor.
Mao lagi na, basta lain-lain laging administrasyon, ang mga proyekto lagi langay-langayon. Kay kung wa pa rin langay-langaya, tanan nga mga proyekto, ug ako sad, may mamahimong mayor, tanan, not only BRT, hasta pud ang monorail. Ipadayon gihapon na. But kinahanglan na siya og kanang dugang pagtuon pagyat. No? Kay ang improvement sa usa ka syudad makita sad pinaagi sa efficient transportation. Mutuod jud ko ana. Kay kining atong mga katawhan og nindot pa lang ang ato ang transportasyon, ang ilang kasakyan, di na sila mamalit og auto, di na manguad og auto, ay mangutang og auto. Tungod kay dili magud sila comfortable diha sa atong mga kadalanan, they forced to buy or pangutang og mga sakyanan ug nindot pa lang unta ang atong transportasyon.
We also quickly asked the three mayoral aspirants how they plan to deal with several incessant problems experienced in Cebu City, starting with flooding.
Mayor, lastly, arita sa mga issues, very briefly lang, on the strategies that you have in mind to address these problems in the city of Cebu. Number one is pagbaha. If given another term as mayor, how would you seek to address
I
this
have
issue?
already 1.5 billion. It's just unfortunate that I did not have the chance to manage the city for the third time.
So you're planning
Yeah,
to...
but I have to check how much billions has been left. But definitely, part of that, which is Cebu City, Barog Cebu City, that is the issue of environment and sustainability. So we will definitely be focusing that particular concern.
Kaning issue na to, ma'am, sa pagbaha. Or perennial problem, yun ni sa dakbayan sa Cebu.
Yeah.
How do you plan to
Yeah.
address this concern?
Well, I'm not going to say I can solve it, okay? But we will have to. Number one, ayaw lang, di na lang ta maghuwat na hangtod na ng baha data. There's also the of the disposal of our own garbage at home na sige lang labay sa sapa, sige lang labay diha sa kanal. And then after that, may cleaning program. So, okay, for 24 hours, maglimpyo ta. Sunod adlaw, labay na sad. Let's go on a total no. This is not the way to dispose of your garbage. But, you also kinahanglan sad na mag-provide sad ta nila og alternative. Throw it here. Ayaw lang magsulti, do not throw it there. And then walay lain. Di ba? Labayan pa.
Yeah.
See, as far and then, okay, then you'll say, what about all these drainage projects? Na at one point, there was 1 billion. Yes, it was there since before. Right? But remember, it has to be... You cannot solve the drainage in Guadalupe and that's it. Because if you solve it here, most probably, the water or whatever will run to the next barangay. Right?
Yeah.
So there has to be... I am not the expert there. But we should tap. There are many who can help us. That's another thing. We have to ask assistance from those who are experts. It is a matter of skills assignment ba?
Okay, about the flooding. Nakahibaw na ning atong mga civil engineers, ato ang mga planners, asa dapita ang mga slopes. Asa dapita buhatan, agianan sa tubig. We all know nga mga karaanan ning mga panimalay, karaanan ni sila. But there's another solution. There's a solution about it. Gabyang Dam, magbuhat ta og kanang mga sinkholes para sa magka-replenish sa ato ang fresh water or underground water. And then there should have been a proper urban planning. Kinahanglan urban planning gyud. Kay mag-unsa man ang imuhang kanang pagplano nimo sa imong drainage ug wa kay proper urban planning. I'm into it. No? Nga to expand the development not only in a certain barangays dito sa Cebu City but as far as mountain barangays, they will see the development unya diha pohon. Kay nga tong plano ang development ato nang dadon dito sa uban nga mga kabarangayan so that ang ato sa mga katawhan sad ma-equal pod ang distribution sa pagtrabaho. Maka-ease pod sa traffic. Mo na atong gikinahanglan.
How about crime rate, Mayor?
Crime rate, bring the finest police, then you reduce, and you will have the best crime rate that you will have and ought to have in a highly urbanized city.
You know, people are getting desperate. No? Ang mga panginabuhi na wala. Nawagtang sa trabaho. Nanira ang mga business. Nanira ang mga gamay na mga vending, whatever activities pa. We have to provide a stimulus to that. No? Okay, so you say, you know, sayon lang magsulti, poverty. It is poverty. That may be a factor. But you know also, kaila man sa mga pila ka tao na gikan sila diha na di man sila kriminal. They never used their poverty as a reason, right? To break the law. Ang ilang gibuhat, they rose above that. But we have to provide the opportunities for them to rise above that. That's why I so believe in education. Because para nako, ang edukasyon will give people kaugmaon ug paglaom. We have to give hope. We have to give them a future.
With the use of the latest technology, such as CCTV camera, nga naagi tao, kanang non-contact apprehension sa atong mga traffic violators, ato gihapon ang ipatuman, kay buhatan, pabutangan taman na silang mga LPR, kanang license plate recognition, nga ang mga katawhan na to, kinahanglan mutuman gid sa balaod sa trapiko. No need na nga mag-anana pa ka citation. As long as makita ka, naka-violate ka, ma-register na imuhang plate number, automatically when you renew, diha nakita nimo din ang imuhang mga violations and you will pay. Ang pagpatuman sa balaod, priority kay nato. Pinaagi usab niya anang mga CCTV, kinahanglan nga naay preemptive nga mga actions nga himuon ang atong kabarangayan kay iusa naman ni nato tanang mga CCTV sa mga barangay, sa kapulisan, sa mga establishments, sa usa ka intensified command control center. Nga with the cooperation usab sa atong private sector. So ang sa drogas, kinahanglan gid mo na numero 1 na kong kontra. Bili gid ko gustong drogas. And dasa tay solusyon kalabot ana.
Unsa man cons?
Himo ako ninyong mayor, di ba makita ninyo? Makita ninyo
To be
unsa.
announced.
Makita nila
Or di
unsa
ba
ko.
ka like the Duterte style nga kuan, marag a bloody war against drugs?
For me, there is another option in that.
It doesn't have to be bloody.
Yes. Kinahanglan sa gyud nga we have to touch the lives. We have to listen and to strengthen also the faith sa atong mga katawhan. Kay kung ang tanan ng mga katawhan mahadlokon sa Ginoo, dili gid sila mahisudin ha. Apan kinahanglan sa gyud og enforcement.
For our final question, we asked,
Why should the constituents of the city of Cebu vote for you as mayor? In just one sentence.
One sentence, because I am ready in heart, in mind, and in my soul to serve the people of the city of Cebu. God bless.
No, I'm not going to tell you you should choose me. It's up to you. But I am an alternative. No? Now, if you're happy, kung nalipay baya mo sa unsay na nahitabo karon, then you're happy. Take a chance. Cebu needs a mom.
Si David Tumulak, parehas ninyo kahimtang, nakasabot sa inyong sitwasyon. Prioridad ni David Tumulak ang atong katawhan. Suway lang ko. Di ba makita ninyo nga makabato na mo og mayor nga parehas ninyo mutabang og andam nga moalagad.
3 months ago, before the May 2022 elections, 3 months to decide who the next chief executive of Cebu City should be. The choice is yours. This is Andy for AnDiscoveries.